said earlier pertaining to science and the like. And this goes to show you that the kuffar, this is in Surah Rum, ayat 7. Supreme Court said a couple days ago that they only know the outer workings of this world.
No.
But they heedless of the hereafter.
No.
And I tie hand in hand with what you were saying earlier.
No. Yes, so when Almighty Allah says in Surah Al-Rum, يَعْلَمُونَ ظَاهِرًا مِنَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا, that they know issues concerning the dunya, the apparent issues of the dunya. It's Almighty Allah who granted them that things of the dunya, they knew it. The non-Muslims, they know it. And you see, the Almighty Allah, He gives to whoever He wants. And as we said earlier on, historically, when we're treating, I think, Surah Al-Asr, we spoke about that. And no, we were speaking about Iqra, about knowledge. Historically, you look at the Greeks, you look at the Romans, you look at the Mesopotamians, and then you come and look at the Indians, the Chinese. They were the ones historically that had the civilizations. The Arabs didn't have, a much talked about civilization, except the civilization in Yemen before the advent of Islam, or the civilization of Medina al-Batra, the city of Petra, is in Jordan. They carved the whole city from rock. If you have the time, you can go visit the place. It's in Jordan. Medina al-Batra is called the city of Petra. You can Google it. It's there. So the Arabs didn't have, but what it means literally is that all these non-Muslim nations had these civilizations. They were controlling, the Romans were controlling, half of the known world at that time. Fast forward, the British were controlling half of the known world. The British Empire expanded. They knew all that. They had the science, the technology. We, the Muslims, took it, from the 7th century onwards. For some time, we took it over. You have all these Muslim scientists, Al-Khawarizmi, you have Ibn al-Haytham, you have Ibn Nafiz, you have Ibn Faris, you have all these Muslim scientists who took over. They sieved it, they filtered through it, and then they produced something better. And after 1,000 years, the Muslim nation were tired. And then the Europeans took over. And the Europeans have been at the forefront of these things up to now. They're the ones who are leading the industrial revolution that they say, and all this stuff. If you check now, the guys that run the technology of the world, most of them are not Muslims. If you take Apple, for example, Steve Jobs is a Muslim. If you take Tesla, Elon Musk is not a Muslim. What again? Amazon, Jeff Bezos, he's not a Muslim. If you go to the other part of the world, you go to China and these TikTokers and all this stuff, all these IT engineers, you find them, they're Indians. But then the Muslims are in there somewhere. We're there. It's not that we don't have anything. But then the Almighty Allah, this is proof, a testament to what the Almighty Allah said, that these non-Muslims, Allah has given them that. But then that doesn't mean that we Muslims can also what? Can also strive and learn and also what? Dominate the field. And understand one thing. If you dominate this stuff, you become, the civilization that people copy. Let me tell you something. When we were growing up in Africa, Ghana, people want to speak like Americans. Yo, what's up, man? We watch Hollywood movies and then, want to dress like Hollywood stars. It got to a point, when people have their pants sagging in the movies, you have people wanting their pants to sag because the American,
assimilate their culture.
Yes, so the Americans, at that time were ahead in terms of, technology and stuff like that. And if you lead in the technological space, your cultural and social norms also gets copied by people because you are the one who is leading. When we were the ones spearheading the technology and the civilization of the age, in Spain, in Europe, if a young man wants to woo a girl, he tells her, "Uhubbiki, I love you," in Arabic language, when he's not an Arab. Today, if you want to sound romantic, you tell your wife, "I love you." Even me, who is not a native English person, If I want to be romantic with my wife, I tell her I love you in the English language. It's more romantic than me saying it in my local language. Is it romantic in your local language? And this is all the cultural, and societal, what I call it. I don't want to say imperialism, no, but then cultural and traditional power that comes with what the technological power that the Western nations are having. For example, third world nations are running to first world nations begging, getting money from IMF and then World Bank, and then the IMF and the World Bank are stipulating for them what some clauses and conditions. For example, some years back, the British government or the British Prime Minister said that if Ghanaians do not accept LGBTQ, they're not going to give us aid. And the president at that time told the Prime Minister James Cameron, keep your money. We don't need that cultural and social imperialism. Now in Ghana, the anti-LGBTQ plus bill has been passed by the Parliament of Ghana. They've passed it. And then the finance ministry tells the Ghanaian president not to sign it into law, because if he signs it, we're not going to get a $3 billion aid from the IMF. So if you are the background of advancement in terms of technology and civilization, you don't control the cultural nuances in your places. Imam Sha'rawi, the famous Egyptian scholar, said, لن تكون كلمتنا من رأسنا إن لم تكن لن تكون كلمتنا من رأسنا. I'm trying to get it. لن تكون كلمتنا من رأسنا إن لم تكن طعامنا من فأسنا. He said, our words will never come out from our heads so long as our food does not come from our own farming. If someone else is feeding you, they detect how you behave.
Yeah, how about that? It's like assimilation.
Yes.
What I was getting at when I posed the question was like, for example, the doctor can only tell you, if a doctor delivers babies, he can tell you that the baby's going to live.
Mm-hmm.
But Allah, it's all determined from Allah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get it. So what the brother is trying to ask is that, yes, in this dunya, we have knowledge. People have knowledge. For example, if a woman is pregnant, she goes to the hospital, there's a scan. They say it's a male child, it's a female child. That's not haram. But then I want you to ask the doctor, okay, fine, if you're able to see that it's a male child, it's a female child, you're able to predict when the baby is going to be born. Okay, that's good. How long is it going to live in the dunya? The doctor doesn't have that answer.
That's from Allah.
Yes. So just re-emphasizing what you're saying. And then ask the doctor, how many pizzas is the baby going to eat until they die? The doctor doesn't have that. Okay, how many clothes are they going to wear? How many shoes are they going to have? That is with the Almighty Allah. So I support what you're saying, inshallah. Yes?
Is it true that it is haram to wear like your clothes over the ankle, like covering it?
So in Islam, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is very explicit about having our clothes dragging on the floor for us males. ما أسفل من الكعبين من الإزار ففي النار. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, any male whose clothing is sweeping, dragging the floor is in Jahannam. There's a hadith of Abu Bakr Siddiq where the Prophet ﷺ, when he spoke about this, Abu Bakr Siddiq said, Ya Rasulullah, my clothes, sweep the floor. And the Prophet ﷺ said, no, you Abu Bakr, you don't do this arrogantly. You don't do it arrogantly. So those who do it arrogantly. But then, some of the scholars are of the opinion that no, even if because the hadith that came, that you're doing it arrogantly is only one hadith. But then the other hadith that are very generic and general in what they say is very, very clear on that. So majority of the scholars are of the opinion that if your clothes drag the floor, whether you do it arrogantly or not, is Jahannam. But then there are other scholars that say if your clothes drag the floor not arrogantly, then you're not part of the hadith. They're using the case of Abu Bakr Siddiq to justify that. But then as a Muslim man, you don't have you don't have the liberty to let your clothes drag on the floor, because you need to follow the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But for the sisters, their clothes should drag the floor. Their clothes should drag the floor. Listen, the sisters, your clothes can even sweep the city for us. It is halal for you. And even if the clothes pass through any dirt or najas, anything that is impure, you can still pray with it, you the sisters, because that is what you've been given. So sisters, your feet do not need to be shown. We don't need to see your feet. There's a difference of opinion between scholars whether the face of the woman is aura or not. It is a long-standing debate from the first generation of Muslims till today. So I'm not going to go into that. But then they unanimously agree that the feet of the woman should be covered. And some of them go to the extent that if a sister is praying and then her feet are outside, her prayer is invalid, because her feet is aura. So for the sisters, yes, but for us brothers, no. Your clothes shouldn't drag the floor. If he has a follow-up question on that, I want to listen. But if it is another question, I want to listen if you have a follow-up question on that. Okay.
So as far as in Surah Luqman I-18, does it not say? Does that not tie hand in hand with what I'm saying?
Yes. So the hadith is very clear that yes, those who drag their clothes, being arrogant and being insolent, it's like that. But then majority of the scholars are of the opinion that whether your clothes drag the floor insolently or humbly, you're still part of that hadith. So to be able to escape all that, don't let your clothes drag on the floor. To be on the safe side, don't let it drag on the floor. Don't say fine because the hadith of Abu Bakr, the Prophet ﷺ said, you Abu Bakr, your clothes do not drag on the floor because of insolence or because of arrogance. Okay, what if the hadith is specific for only Abu Bakr Siddiq? What if? So to be on the safer side, don't let your clothes drag on the floor. Allah Alam. Let me go to your uncle.
A lot of sisters now they wear their garb, but it's tight.
Yes, I was coming to that. Sisters, your hijab shouldn't be tight fitting. You can't wear a niqab and then your jilbab is showing all your body contours, my sister. This is not hijab. So be mindful of the hijab you're going to buy, my sister. Your hijab shouldn't be tight fitting. Your hijab shouldn't be transparent. Some of the sisters, they wear their hijab, but with all due respect, you can see the undergarments that they put on. Or you can see their skin. You can see it. It's not hijab, my sister. In as much as maybe you're trying, yes, but then the fact that you're trying doesn't mean that if something is wrong, we wouldn't call your attention to it. So sisters, don't wear tight-fitting clothes. You wear clothes and then it holds your biceps here and then we can see the shape of your biceps that no, she is fat or she's chubby or she is slim. This is not hijab. Or some of you wear hijab that is so tight fitting that with all due respect we can see your bosom, whether it's big or small. This is not hijab. I'm sorry if I'm being a bit explicit or being open with the words, but that's true. Sometimes you need to say it as it is so that people can come back to their senses. My sisters, you cannot wear a hijab that has a belt and then you tie your waist and then we can see your shape. This is not hijab. Irrespective of whether you put on the niqab or not, you can be in niqab and at the same time you have hijab. Your hijab is tight fitting, it shows your contours. This is not hijab. There's a question. Abakar, go grab it for me. This is not hijab. This is not hijab. And I'm not saying this to discourage you. You can be better. You can improve. I'm saying this so that what? You can improve. That, oh, okay, I didn't know. I thought just wearing the long clothes, that's it. No, that's not it. Let them understand. Let sisters understand. You can be better. You can improve. You can go back home and then change your wardrobe little by little, bit by bit. But then the most important thing is that sisters, your hijab shouldn't be tight fitting. That's one. Number two, it shouldn't be transparent. Number three, it shouldn't resemble that of male clothing. Because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam cursed any woman who dresses like a man and any man who dresses like a woman. So in Islam we have nothing like cross-dressing. We don't have it. We don't have all this drag queen stuff in Islam. We don't. Well, I'll listen to your question. Let me finish with this. And then number four, it shouldn't resemble that of non-Muslims. If there is a clothing that is clearly a dressing of non-Muslims, you don't wear it. For example, the hijab that the nuns wear, the Catholic nuns, a Muslim woman cannot wear it because it has what? A religious what? Connotation. The jilbab that the Roman fathers and the Pope wear, we the males cannot also wear it because it has what? It has a religious what? Connotation. But if a dressing doesn't have any religious connotation, like the jacket that you're wearing, it has no link with any religion. The jeans that you're wearing, it has no link with any religion. You wear it. But then if a specific clothing has a specific religious allegiance, then that cloth is haram for a Muslim what? To wear it. And then number five, it shouldn't be extravagant. Within your own means. So if you earn $100 and then you want to go and buy a shirt, a jalbab that costs $1,000, you are going against the rules of Islam. So these are what? These are some of the criteria for hijab. Let me listen to the question from the sisters.
I'm sorry, I'll let you finish, but they want you to repeat what you said about like the covering ups, because the last sister just walked in.
Covering ups? You want me to repeat?
Cover up on
You want me to repeat that?
about like how they dress and stuff.
Okay. So just to repeat for the sisters, hijab of a sister, the scholars from the first generation of the Ummah had disagreed whether the face of the woman is aura or not. I'm not going to enter into that. There's a difference of opinion. Some of the scholars said the face of the woman is aura, so it is compulsory for her to wear the niqab wherever she finds herself. Some of them said it is not what? It is not compulsory based on the hadith of Asma where she came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and then she had, light clothes. That dress was transparent, and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told her, "Ya Asma, when a woman is of age, it is not permissible for the people to see her except her face and then her hands." This hadith is authentic. So the scholars like Al-Albani say that, if I'm really sure, yes, I think Albani, Hijab al-Mar'at al-Muslima, he says that the woman is not compulsory for her to wear what? The hijab. The niqab. So it's a difference of opinion between scholars. It's not time for us to go into the dalil of this and then go into the dalil of this. But then, if a Muslim woman decides to say, I am going to wear the niqab, nobody should see her as an extremist. And nobody should see her as someone being, no, you're taking things too far. No. She is entitled to wear the niqab so long as she wants to wear the niqab. Don't force them. If your wife says she wants to wear the niqab, wallahi, allow her to wear the niqab. If she is also of the opinion that she is not going to wear the niqab, don't force her, because there are scholars who also have the opinion that no, the niqab is not wajib. But then, if a woman is in a situation whereby there is fitna, then the niqab becomes highly recommended. Aisha radiallahu anha says, when they go to Hajj, and then the men come passing by, they draw their veils over their faces so that they don't become a fitna for the men. And even in Hajj, women are not required to cover their face. Yes, in Hajj. So there's no niqab in Hajj. These are some of the reasons why some of the scholars said it is not what? It is not compulsory, because if it was compulsory, it would have been compulsory in Hajj. But then in Hajj, no. A woman doesn't cover her face in Hajj. So this is just by the way. So difference of opinion between scholars, whether the woman's face is aura or not. This is something long. It's not time for us to talk about it. Now, the criteria for hijab. Number one, it's not supposed to be tight-fitting, my sister. So any dress that you wear, with all due respect, it holds your arms, it holds your thighs, it shows your body contour. My sister, it is not hijab in Islam. It's not. And I'm not saying this to belittle you or discourage you. I'm saying this as what? As an awareness creation for you. So my sister, if you have any clothing that tight, holds you tight, this is for a husband in the house. In the home, dress to kill, as they say. You're with your husband, dress to kill. Yes. Come out all blazing, guns blazing. My sister, kill him in the room. with all your lingerie, with all your, all your makeup and all your, do it in the room. That's for him. Kill him. The only thing that will let him go out is if he's coming to the masjid for salah. Other than that, anytime with the boys, kill it with that dressing. Kill him in the room. But then as you come out, the dressing changes. No tight-fitting clothing, my sister. That's one. Number two, the clothing should cover the whole body. Not leaving anywhere except those who say the face and what? And the hands. That's it. Number three, it shouldn't be transparent, my sister. If you wear a cloth and then, with all due respect, we can see your skin under that cloth, it is haram for you to wear. So my sister, if you have any cloth that is light, that is transparent, it is not allowed in Islam. The fourth one, it shouldn't resemble that of male clothing. So this jilbab that the sheikh is wearing, this is male dressing. Some time ago, there was a trend in Ghana. Some sisters, on the day of Eid, this is the dress that they wear to go to the Eid. They go and buy white jilbab for men, and they wear. They're going to eat. People, they want to do whatever they want to do. So, my sister, you don't wear this clothing. Listen, even if it's in the room, even if it's your husband's jilbab, you don't wear it, because the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad was very generic. The Almighty Allah curses a woman who wear the clothing of men and the men who wear the clothing of women. So in Islam, we don't have any cross-dressing. That's why Islam, we don't have any confusion with all these LGBTQ stuff. We don't have any confusion with it. Our religion is very clear. And even from the time that the kids, the Prophet ﷺ said, when your kids are age of 10, you separate their bedding. Any tendency is killed. Any thought is killed. So it shouldn't resemble that of men. It also doesn't resemble that of non-Muslims. So as we said earlier on, if there's a particular dressing, clothing that resembles that of non-Muslims, which is specific to non-Muslims, and we made examples of the clothing of the nuns and the clothing of the fathers, the priests, the bishops and the archbishops, it is not for us. We stay away from that. And then it shouldn't be extravagant. It should be clothing within your means. Don't kill your husband to go and buy $1,000, abaya for you when that's what he earns in a month. You're being insensitive. If what you can afford is a $50 abaya or $100 abaya, buy it and come to the masjid. Nobody's going to kick you out for wearing that. Who knows how much this dress is? Nobody knows. Nobody's concerned about that. So, just as a reminder, and then as a reminder for the men too, your clothes shouldn't be tight-fitting. Some of you brothers, you come with tight-fitting clothes to the extent that we can see the shape of your thighs. It's not allowed in the deen. And some of you wear clothing, if you go to ruku, Allahu Akbar, we can see your behind. Your salah is invalid if you can see your behind, because it's your aura. For us men. And some of you wear jeans that are tattered. They are cut. And we can see all your thighs. It's not allowed in the deen. It's not. Not only when you are coming to salah, even outside, it's not allowed. So, your clothes should also be extravagant. Your clothes shouldn't resemble that of non-Muslims. Your clothes shouldn't resemble that of what? That of the sisters too. So when we talk about hijab, it's not only particular to the sisters, it also to us too. There are rulings for us too. That our clothes shouldn't drag on the floor, as we said earlier on. Our clothes should be above the ankles, as we said earlier on. It shouldn't be extravagant. Our clothes shouldn't, resemble that of non-Muslims. It shouldn't resemble, when we say it shouldn't resemble that of non-Muslims, you know that there are some clothes that it has no connotation with a religion. For example, t-shirts. It doesn't belong to any particular religion. These pants that we wear, it doesn't. Subhanak Allahumma hamdik nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Thank you very much. May Almighty Allah safeguard us. May Almighty Allah accept from us. And inshallah we'll meet next year if the Almighty Allah wills. Today is our last class. May Almighty Allah safeguard us. Assalamu alaikum.
How much was this?